Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Ed Barton, the social anxiety coach again here. And today I would like to share with you 7 of my favorite social anxiety quotes. So let's jump right into them. Number 1 is from Wayne Gretzky, the famous NHL hockey superstar. And he said, "You miss 100% of the shots you do not take." Now think about that for a moment. As you'll know, when you've got social anxiety, we spend so much time in our head analyzing stuff. We have paralysis through analysis, which means we play all these scenarios out in our head, and then we usually come to some negative conclusion, like there's no point going for that job interview because I can tell I'm going to stuff it up and I'm not going to get the job. There's no point me going over there and speaking to that person that I really like because they're just going to reject me, and there's absolutely no point in me making a fool of myself and going through that. So what happens when we stay stuck in that mindset is that the whole of life, with all its rich opportunities, pass us by, and we end up sitting on the sidelines living like a spectator. I know that's exactly how I used to live and how I felt right up until my early 30s, when I really started to take some serious action and try and change my habits and my thought patterns. So with this idea of you miss 100% of the shots you do not take, it means, of course, you are gonna miss sometimes. That is gonna happen. But you can be sure if you don't take a single shot, yes, you're not going to miss, but you're also not going to win anything. You're not going to succeed or pull anything off or enjoy anything in life. It's just a life of safe sadness, basically. So with this quote in mind, I think the mindset you need to adopt is to just say, screw it, let's do it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go up to that person that I've always liked and just ask them for a drink. If they want to go out for a drink, I'm going to try this thing, which I've talked myself out of for so long. Just fucking do it and just try it out. And so what if you miss? It's par for the course. It happens, but you can guarantee, you do not know what is going to happen when you take those risks and take those chances. But one thing you can be totally sure of is that if you don't ever try, you're never going to succeed. Okay. Number 2, this is from a very famous author called Neil Donald Walsh, and his quote is, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone." Now, I absolutely love this because when I started getting into my journey of overcoming social anxiety, so much of it came down to the comfort zone and how I was living in this little bubble of safety, never pushing myself, never going outside of my usual routines because I was scared. And no matter what people say about social anxiety, it basically, a lot of it comes down to fear. And it's so easy just to not address these fears because it's difficult. It's really hard. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. No one likes to do difficult stuff. No one likes to face their fears. But along with this quote is another idea, which is that the comfort zone is a lovely place, but nothing ever grows there. So if you stay in your comfort zone, you know what you're going to get. It's just going to be more of the same. It's going to be that pallid, pale, boring, dull life that you've become accustomed to. But if you start pushing yourself out of there, that's when magic happens. That's when stuff really does start to happen. And trust me, I have done more stuff outside my comfort zone in the last 10 years than I ever could have imagined. I've been rejected on so many dates. I've gone up, I've had job interviews. I've done so much stuff that I never could have imagined I would have when I was just this meek little doormat kind of guy who never really tried anything new. So life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Get out there and start pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. Number 3, this is accredited as a Chinese proverb, and it goes, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now." So I really like the essence of this idea because it's basically saying, when we have social anxiety, we're often stuck ruminating on the past. We think, well, I missed all those chances. When I was 18, that's when I should have been going out and having sex with all those people that I wanted to and going to those parties. And now I'm 42. I missed it all. It's too late. There's no point in me trying. Like, I have these conversations with clients. I hear people talking like that. I even hear people without social anxiety crying over spilt milk, crying over the past, and saying that it's too late to try anything. That is BS. It would have been great to do all that stuff when we were 18, wouldn't it? When we had social anxiety. but we couldn't because we were flipping scared and our life absolutely sucked. But now is the best time. Now is the only time we have. And this is the absolute best time to take action. So yes, it would have been great to do all that stuff in the past. We didn't do it because we were limited by social anxiety. Do not let that stop you doing stuff right now today. So grasp the nettle, do something today. Start taking action. Forget about the past and start focusing on what you can do with what you have right now. Okay, number 4. This is a quote from the car manufacturer Henry Ford, and he said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And I have had so many conversations with clients who are like, I'm not going to try that because I know it won't work. I'm not going to do this because I know I can't do it. And I get it. Like, I had that mindset. You're very, very negative and pessimistic when you have social anxiety. That's just part of it. The illness itself wears you down and makes you stop believing that you can do stuff. But you also have the illness in the first place because of this kind of very negative mindset. So basically, this is really boiling it down to the fact that a lot of stuff in life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you just get out and say, screw it, I can do this, I will do this, then you will manifest that. If you go into something, if you go into a job interview, you go into a social encounter, or you go into a situation with a negative expectation, an expectation of failure, there's a very, very good chance that is going to manifest, or really that you are going to manifest that. So go into situations believing, yes, I can, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this positive. And so what if it fails, man? You just have to keep going and keep going, but at least go in with an expectation of success. Okay, so number 5. This is a quote from the author Maxwell Mounts from his book Psycho-Cybernetics. And he said, living with low self-esteem is like driving with a handbrake on. And I love this. This really resonated with me because I remember saying to my dad, when I had social anxiety, I must have been like 30. I remember I'd come home from doing my postgrad degree one day at a university, and I was just like racked with anxiety. I hated going to that university because it was quite a good university. There were a lot of people there, and I always used to find it stressful. And I said, I feel like I'm a boxer trying to fight with one hand tied behind his back. And then I said, actually, screw that, with 2 hands tied behind his back. It's like I kind of had the ability and I knew that I could do stuff, but I just felt so handicapped. And I really feel that that's what this quote is speaking to. It's like we have the ability, but we're just holding ourselves back so much. We're holding ourselves back with our low self-esteem, with our cognitive biases, with our maladaptive thinking patterns, with all the negative stuff that goes on in our minds. So it's not that you need to change the car. You just need to actually take that handbrake off. So you can think like, well, that's great, but how do I do that? How do I work on self-esteem? Well, there are books like The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden. There are different cognitive behavioral techniques, which I go through in the books on my website, which you can get. And we need to basically just bolster our self-esteem and just believe that we have everything within us that we need, but we're just handicapping ourselves. We need to take these ropes off that are tying our hands behind our back so we can actually get out there in the fight of life and start winning it. Okay, let's move on to number 6. This is a quote from a guy called Brad Metzler, and I absolutely love this quote. I think it's so true. He says, everyone you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. And I think this is so important for social anxiety sufferers because we walk around in a bubble. It's kind of a form of negative narcissism where you think it's all about me, but it's about me in a negative way. Like everybody's looking at me. I'm the only screw up around here. Everybody else has got their shit together. Everybody else knows what's going on. It's just me that's the freak, me that can't do it. That is BS, right? I'm 42 years old nearly now. And the amount of people I've spoken to and got to know and had deep conversations with through my work as a coach and just through living life post-social anxiety, I know like everybody you come into contact with is dealing with a relative with mental health problems, is dealing with depression themselves, is dealing with anxiety, has got a relative who's got cancer that's getting them down, and they've all got something that's going on in their life. And you slip over in the hallway of a school or something and you think everyone's watching you or whatever. They're not. They've got so much stuff going on in their own life. They do not actually care about what's going on with you, but we believe that they do. And we believe everyone else is perfect and we're screwed up. And that is not the case. Everyone has got shit to deal with. Trust me on that. So this also is a point of compassion. You know, it's a good way of getting out of your own head so much and stop worrying so much about what people are thinking of you and think about, I wonder what's going on in their life. I wonder maybe they've got a problem why they gave me that strange look or they gave me that strange reaction. Let's flip this around and think, maybe this wasn't about me. Maybe it could be something that's going on in Janine's life, or, you know, there must be something going on with David for him to act so strangely with me today. Do you know what I mean? So keep this in mind. You're not the only one with problems. Yes, I know SAD is a massive issue. Trust me, no one knows better than me. But so many other people, they've got SAD, which you don't know about. They've got anxiety. They've got depression. They've got postnatal depression. They've got postpartum syndrome, or so many other things that are going on. So just bear in mind that everyone else has stuff going on as well. And it's not only you, and it's not always about you. And it's very often not about you. Okay, now the seventh and final quote is from the poet Robert Frost, and it's, the best way out is always through. And I'm a massive believer in this philosophy. I love this quote because he's basically saying, you can't get through shit unless you wade through that shit directly, all right? There's no nice way to get through social anxiety. You can't just sit at home hiding from life and expect something special to be dropped into your lap that's going to suddenly alleviate all your problems. That is not going to happen. Unfortunately, you've got to like just grit your teeth and go, you know, right into the battle, go right through it. That is tough, but it's also the path of most resistance and the path of most reward. Trust me, from someone who's been through it, you will come out the other side of that battle stronger and a completely transformed version of who you are right now, and better than you ever imagined you could be. So you got to give up the idea that there's an easy way around this. It isn't. Social anxiety is deep rooted, it's complex, it's difficult. You got to just go right through it. You got to face those fears head on. I'm not saying rush it, do everything with baby steps, but you got to go through it at some point. And trust me, it is worth it. I know it sounds scary, and it can be scary, but you can hit me up in the comments. You can hit me up on email, and I hope I can be around to help. You can even hit me up on a chat on Zoom for like a 15-minute Skype call, Zoom call. I can talk you through some stuff and try and give you some of the benefit of my experience. But sooner or later, you've got to take that challenge on and get through this problem head on. Okay. This is a long video. That's everything I got for now. I hope you enjoy these 7 quotes. There's something that I've lived by that's really helped me, that really resonated with me, that stay in my head and have changed me and helped me with my journey of recovery. I hope they will do the same for you. Okay, if you found this video useful, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, hit the notification bell, and please comment in the section below, because I'd love to hear what quotes you used, what has helped you here. And that's everything I've got for right now. Speak to you soon, and reach out to me whenever you need to, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.